everybody. Today we find ourselves in the Hind, the Mi-24 Hind. I've flown this for a total of 1 day. I just downloaded it. I've been getting some practicing, trying to get the hang of it. When they say it's a learning curve to helicopters, it really is. But I'm pretty comfortable for the most part taking off, and I don't have the most ideal setup. I don't have pedals. I don't have like an actual cyclic, a collective. So I make the most of what I have, okay? And this is just kind of proof of concept to say, you know, if I can do it, you can too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take off. What I've found works best for me is, rather than just incrementally letting in on the collective, so collective being this one down here on my side right here, you see Igor's hand. Oh, let me introduce you. First off, we have Igor, he's always looking out to the left. And then we have Ivan, he's always looking out to the left. So they're ready to go, I'm ready to go. But again, like I said, instead of just incrementally bringing in collective, I pretty much have to dump it. Oh, let's see what... Oh, he doesn't have the drawing. We won't be flying anywhere near a runway and airport, even though that's easier for me. Taking off is better for me than landing. So here we go. Put a little right rudder. Let it lag. And we're up. Is it the most prettiest? No. Does it do the job? Sure it does. It suffices. Could I possibly land on that? Good God, no. All right, let's trim this thing out. So I have to, like I said, I have to use a wheel, what I usually use for zooming in aircraft. That's what I use for the rudder or the rear tail rotor. Let's get a fan going because it's actually kind of toasty. And look, that's me flying, and I forgot my landing gear again, but it's okay. That is A-okay. But let's talk about the Hind, right? Soviet-designed aircraft. Also a transport, so you do have space in the rear for passengers. Up to 8 passengers. There's a really good video on YouTube. If I can find the link, I'll try to link it to this video. But it's one of Eric Johnson's walk-around videos, and they do an in-depth tutorial of the Hind. If you do get this module, I would highly suggest going ahead and in your settings from the main menu, go into special settings, and then you're able to make all of that Russian, that Cyrillic, able to change it into English, or, well, it's only English as a second option. Because otherwise you're not going to understand anything, and it's all going to be guesswork or lots of time studying. I've done pretty much zero in the way of reading the manuals, or I do have Chuck's guide, but as far as the manual goes, I haven't touched it. I haven't even bought this module. I'm just trialing it out. Right now it's just getting the basics of flight down pat, and then moving on to other systems, weapons and all of that. So we are still climbing. So that's 1,000 meters. Now, in my experience of flying this thing, going high isn't necessarily a good thing, because those rotors up there are gonna have reduced lift the higher we go. So we're gonna go ahead and pick out some collective, start descending. I do need to find a button to bind to take out my trim settings, because otherwise you're fighting the settings that you have saved, and that's what's happening right now. So I don't want to per se have to be solely reliant on that is what they call VRS, boys and girls. And that nose over. So essentially I was just losing lift because there's a lot of dirty air. There's a lot of dirty air that was underneath of the helicopter. And I wasn't generating lift, so I was getting ready to fall out the sky like a rock. At least that's my understanding of it. And this is where I have to put full collective in because my computer is dying. Sorry about that. So in a couple months' time, that will be a thing of the past because I'll have my new computer. Question of my throttle.
Отказал генератор.
The tutorial in game would have you to believe that the
Отказал генератор.
Okay. So you put it in full cyclic. It's not a very fun day. Let's try and land this thing, which hasn't been a highlight for me. Trimming out the helicopter, and it had this propensity to roll just then. I think that was because there was a little bit of terror that was being worked into the equation. This is how $135 knots. Let's see what Yvonne is looking at. Not much of anything. Just PPG's on. Okay, so we're gonna try to land this. Probably saw the thumbnail. That was from my last time. I actually did land. What I'm doing is I'm trying to get that trying to balance out that speed indicator to. Well, let me try again. I'm trying to stop my forward movement progress. All arresting my descent. So I'm slowly letting out collective. Put a little rudder in as necessary. For some reason, I keep leaning back. So we're nearly, forward movement is nearly stopped.
Выпусти шасси.
So when you hear that, it's essentially my understanding of that is that it's the rotor just slapping at the air. It's not officially moving it. I think there's something below me, so increase collective. I just realized something. My gear isn't down. That's gear coming down. Like right here, it's all over with. Do I still have a tail rotor? Do I still have a tail rotor?
Генератор.
That's all she wrote. So it's easier for me to land, honestly, from a runway in this thing than anything else. But the difficulty is where the fun lies. I'm going to spend some time reading up on the manual, get a better understanding of the regime of flight that this thing operates in. It's the first helicopter I've ever flown. I know it's supposed to be one of the most difficult in the game, but it makes it fun. So, you know, try different things. You got here, do different things. You don't have the most ideal setup. It's okay. Neither do I. Right? I'm crashing now. I crashed earlier. I actually landed before that thumbnail was taken. I did land, and then I subsequently crashed. That footage was, maybe I'll put a little snippet of it actually landing. Oh. So close. So close. Can we stop? Break. That was nerve-wracking, y'all. I was leaning back. If you didn't notice, I wasn't zooming out. I was leaning back. All right, let's look and see what kind of damage we have. But then I subsequently crashed, just messing around. The audio for that file wasn't recorded. So, yeah, that's where we stand. Okay, so fly different things, do different things. And I forgot to mention this is the Stone Burner training server. I get better performance on here than I do Hoggit or 4YA or any of the other training servers. So I tend to come here a lot more. If you like what you see, comment, like, subscribe as always. And I appreciate y'all. Be blessed and have a good night. I subsequently crashed, just messing around. The audio for that file wasn't recorded. So, yeah, that's where we stand. Okay, so fly different things, do different things. And I forgot to mention this is the Stone Burner training server. I get better performance on here than I do Hoggit or 4YA or any of the other training servers. So I tend to come here a lot more. If you like what you see, comment, like, subscribe as always. And I appreciate y'all. Be blessed and have a good night.